What's going on, guys? I haven't been following any news. I'm still not at my house, as you can tell. But I have been kind of in and out, with the whole news. And the one thing that keeps popping up is Metroid. Metroid, 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 Metroid. Are we going to see a Metroid? I'm not going to say we're going to see one because I don't want to say that and then we never do. However, I do know the history of how Metroid has worked. We saw one on the regular Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. However, it skipped the Nintendo 64 and showed back up on GameCube. Then it showed itself on the Wii. It skipped the Wii U. So that's every third generation it skips, which means we should be seeing one on the Switch if we follow the game, like if we follow how history has worked with Metroid. Um, so I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to have more than one on the Switch. I mean, come on, they had what, two on the GameCube and how many on the Wii, the original Wii? They had like a whole package of our collector's pack on the original Wii. I mean, that was fucking nuts. I think it was just a repackage of the ones on GameCube, but still. No, wait, there was like two. I think like there was Metroid Prime 3, and then there was like another one, and then there was a trilogy bundle, and there was a couple of them. So again, there was there should be like a couple coming out on the Switch if we follow the time frame the right way. I want to say there should be at least one that shows up because, like I said, we're following the time frame and how the game has progressed through each generation. It always has skipped the third generation, and now that we're back in another generation, it's starting over, and this is the first generation going through how we do with following the timeline. So we should see one, at least one. I don't know if that's why people keep talking about it, but they don't want to say that. But I'm going to say that because, again, I just say things in the sense of how I want to say them and because nobody else will. Again, you have the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, that's two generations, the third generation being the Nintendo 64. Then we go back to the first generation being the GameCube, second generation being the Wii, third generation being the Wii U. Then we go back to a first generation being the Switch. So we should have a Metroid. Then we'll have a Metroid here, then we won't have one here. And that's how it has always worked. So we should have one. We should have at least one. And then for their next generation, we'll probably have at least two. If, let me say if history has taught us anything, we might have more than one depending on the success of the one that comes out on this one. But that's all dependent on how the game goes. I'm gonna end it there because, like I said, I've never been a big Metroid fan. I've only really ever beat Metroid if they're on handhelds. And you can say, well, why did you talk about Metroid all you want to? I just felt like putting a video out talking about it. That's what it is. Deuces.